Hey everyone, and welcome to another Game Explained discussion. I'm your host, Derek Bittner, and I'm joined today by Ash Paulson to discuss the inclusion of Shovel Knight in Yooka-Laylee. So let's get started. Alright Ash, so surprise announcement today. I follow Platonic on Twitter, so I know that they were showing off the game at EGX, which is a UK convention, and everybody seemed to love it, and it's going over so well. And I guess to end it all off, they decided to announce this new trailer, which showed off a bunch of the characters they have coming, including a bunch that we already knew about, and a few that we haven't gotten names for, but hey, they're googly eyes and they're animated objects, and they sort of fit that theme. And then it has a surprise reveal. At the very end, we get to see that Shovel Knight, of all things, is in the game. So, gut reaction to Shovel Knight being here.
I think it's awesome. You know, I really think it's cool that all these indie companies or all these indie developers seem to have like this kind of unspoken alliance where they just use each other's characters in all their games, because this is not the first crossover we've seen Shovel Knight in, and other indie characters as well. So, going forward, I fully expect to see Yooka-Laylee, have some cameos in various indie games in the coming years for sure.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure. I have a feeling this isn't going to be the only cameo we'll see in Yooka-Laylee. It wouldn't be too surprising to see others pop up. But in terms of model quality, I think he looks pretty dang good.
I think so too. This is the first time we've really seen Shovel Knight in 3D that I can think of, and I think he looks great. This is exactly kind of what I saw in my mind's eye when I was, when I would think of like Shovel Knight 64 or something. He looks exactly like he should look, I think. I love it.
Yeah. The best we've gotten is the Shovel Knight amiibo, and this kind of matches that. So it all seems to fit. And, I don't know what his role will be in the game, but it's cool that he's there.
Yeah, I think the saddest part about the whole thing is that, he's an NPC, which, of course, this is Yooka-Laylee's game, but I want to run around as Shovel Knight in a 3D space, man. I want to try doing a shovel drop in a 3D space. So it's almost a tease to have him here and not be able to play as him.
Yeah, I guess that can be a little rough, but it's still pretty cool to see him here. Now, we actually hear him kind of talk in this, at least in that Yooka-Laylee Banjo-Kazooie speak, and I think he's a pirate, because it basically goes back and forth between yo, 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 ho, 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 back and forth. I'm like, oh, so that's what he sounds like.
He sounds so weird because, prior to this, the only voice that Shovel Knight really had, and I use that term loosely, is kind of the 8-bit dialogue sound effect from Shovel Knight itself. So it's weird to have, an actual voice associated with this character, and I don't know. I don't dislike it. I think it's kind of fun and goofy in kind of like a weird way. Like, he sounds kind of like he has this bravado, and he just kind of sounds like he's just this guy who tries to do right, but he's kind of bumbling about it, which really kind of goes with what Shovel Knight seems to be anyway. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, he's just kind of like this, yo, ho, 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 yo, yo. And it's, I don't know. It doesn't fit him at all, but in a way, it doesn't really bother me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I kind of like it. It's just this goofy take on what Shovel Knight might sound like if he had a Banjo-Kazooie type voice.
Yeah, it kind of fits. And what's actually kind of cool is that Yacht Club themselves posted on their website about Shovel Knight being in Yooka-Laylee, and they actually went on to say that their very own Sean Velasco made all the noises for Shovel Knight's voice. So it's nobody professional, it's just somebody within their own team, kind of. That's like so how cool. Shovel Knight kind of is already. So it totally works. And then they talk also about how they work together, where Yacht Club, they designed and built the model itself, while Platonic rigged and animated it. So it was really
that's cool.
Yeah, it really was a collaborative effort. And they comment how Shovel Knight sure looks comfortable in a 3D world. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll see Shovel Knight running and jumping around his very own 64-styled adventure. Wouldn't that be neat?
I honestly wouldn't be surprised. I feel like, there's no way Yacht Club obviously doesn't know of the demand for an eventual Super Shovel Knight and or Shovel Knight 64. So, they already have it on their minds. They've talked about it. They've, probably thrown the idea around at the office there. So, it's not something that I would be surprised to see, but I would love for it to happen whenever it does.
Mm-hmm. The question is, do we want to see Super Shovel Knight first or Shovel Knight 64?
Man, that's hard. I think I'd rather see Super Shovel Knight first, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just because, 16-bit, oh, that'd be awesome.
it looked gorgeous to begin with, so to up it to 16-bit inspired would be really cool to see. But any guesses on exactly what Shovel Knight will do in the game? Is it going to be like a quest line, or do you think is he in every version, or do you have to unlock him somehow? What do you think?
I mean, if he's there for any other purpose than to, like, you know, start a quest line where you have to dig for some buried treasure or something, I'm going to be deeply disappointed. Because, I mean, come on, it's got to be something where, you know, it seems like it's going to be an optional type thing where, you know, maybe you go, I don't know, maybe you go look for something. I just feel like Shovel Knight, buried treasure, it makes too much sense, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I can dig it.
Yeah, you can dig it? Yeah, I was actually thinking about that earlier. I was going to say it, then my opportunity passed.
Yeah, it's really cool. The thing is, there's not a whole lot else that you can say about it other than it looks good, and Yooka-Laylee in general just keeps looking good. I love what Playtonic has really managed to pull off, where it's 64 inspired, but it doesn't exactly have, you know, this doesn't look like an N64 game. This is obviously much more modern than that.
Right.
And, you know, getting to see more of the levels, seeing all the crazy characters, you know, you really do get the sense that they had a vision and stuck with it.
Right. No, it really does. And again, I'm just happy to see all these characters showing up in all these different indie companies' games. Like, this makes me think that possibly maybe we'll see a 3D Shantae in Yooka-Laylee. How cool would that be?
Yeah, wouldn't that be wild if we started seeing, like, had 3D models of other indie games? Like, I would personally love to see 3D Shantae pop up in here and, you know, having her own voice, because she has a voice, you know.
I know. I'd love to hear her voice Banjo-Kazooie style.
Oh my
gosh, I think that would be really funny.
That would be hilarious to see, have that voice actor have to do that.
Now, how cool would it be if you end up doing whatever you need to do for Shovel Knight, maybe you unlock like a special move for Yooka-Laylee where they actually like use a shovel or something. Like, I just feel like there's so many ways they could do something really cool with this.
There really would be. I mean, name any type of move, any like the sub weapons, the bouncing, the digging, what have you. There's ways they could just make it work. And I like how they're even respectful to it. Like, Yuka isn't snide or anything like that. Laylee isn't snide or anything like that. She's like, oh, somebody actually looks capable.
Yeah, no, it's true. No, they totally give Shovel Knight, his due credit. And it's just cool to see Shovel Knight popping up kind of almost at the same time in so many different games. Like, I'm playing Azure Striker Gunvolt 2 right now for review, and there's actually, you can tap the Shovel Knight amiibo to your 3DS and unlock like a special boss fight with Shovel Knight.
Oh, geez.
So it's really cool to see that he's getting around in, so many games.
Yeah, there really is this. I mean, Shovel Knight pretty much is a indie icon at this point. It's impressive, and it's one of those things. When I saw it pop up, I'm like, oh, that's cool. But I wasn't like totally shocked by it. I was like, yeah, this makes sense with all the way the indie games love to sort of put their own characters into everything else. That way, somebody who isn't familiar with Shovel Knight can look at this character and be like, oh, well, he looks interesting. What's he from? I'd like to play that.
Yeah, exactly.
Cross-promotional.
So, no, like you said, I wasn't really that surprised when I woke up to this news, but I was just like, pleasantly like, okay, this is cool.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, were you a backer for Yooka-Laylee?
I wasn't. I always intended to be, and I just never got around to it, and then by the time I remembered, it was already over.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened to me.
Yeah, like, I just didn't get a chance. I would have backed it, but, yeah, so far I've only backed Mighty No. 9 and Bloodstained.
Okay. Yeah. I backed Bloodstained, Mighty No. 9, of course, but Shantae, Half-Genie Hero, and... there was one other one, Indiegogo, that's slipping my mind right now. But, I haven't backed too many games. But,
right.
I fully intend on picking up Yooka-Laylee because, again, it just continues to impress. And everything I heard about the game on, of course, they were the ones retweeting all these, but people seem to like it. They seem to pop up quite often. So...
Yeah, no, it really does. And this just seems to, like you said, this seems to be something that people enjoy. There's really no reason not to do this that I could think of. So, hey, yeah, have a ball, and I'm looking forward to this is kind of all I really want to know at this point, because I'd rather kind of discover Shovel Knight myself as I play through Yooka-Laylee and not really know what his role is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
So I think it'd be fun just to kind of be able to play the game and kind of discover him naturally and be like, oh, okay, here's Shovel Knight. What role do you play in this game? And just kind of play that out naturally without knowing beforehand.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm very curious to see how it all turns out, but as of right now, it looks quite good. But any final thoughts on Shovel Knight appearing in Yooka-Laylee?
Just that it's awesome and that his voice is silly and weird, but I like it in its own weird way.
Yeah, Sean Velasco has to return for when there is voice acting, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Gosh, get this man to fully voice act, or when they get to their own 64-bit, they'll just have that little, that sort of voice acting as well.
Yeah,
which would be kind of hilarious.
Exactly.
Like, could you imagine all the voices they would come up with for like King Knight or Spectre Knight or?
It would be so fun.
Alright, well I think that covers it for our Yooka-Laylee discussion, so thank you for watching, and if you liked this video, be sure to like us on Facebook and Twitter at GameXplain. And of course, stay tuned to GameXplain for more on Yooka-Laylee and other things gaming too. Until next time, bye.